Hey guys, this is Brian R. speaking. I'm online and on the air bringing you guys another art tutorial because I strongly believe that education should be free. And some places it is, but not here in corporate America. Okay, in this tutorial, what I wanted to cover was a little bit of character design. I was just gonna go over some basic stuff. I wasn't gonna cover everything. I don't think I could cover everything in one tutorial anyways, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things to developing solid characters, good characters. There's a whole slew of things. So I'm only gonna cover a few basic things because more recently trying to design the characters I've been working on more recently. So there are several important things that you need to keep in mind when you're developing characters. When you're creating a character, you can't just create a character. You gotta come up with the character's entire life, the character's entire world, the character's entire universe, their history. Everything about the character needs to be taken into consideration, and all of these different things need to be reflected on the character in some fashion. I'm just gonna put that over here for a second. You guys probably don't want to see me sketching stuff. You guys just want to see artwork, right? You don't want to see notes like this. So all different things to think about when you're designing these characters. Birth date, place of birth. You guys can write this down somewhere. You might be able to make use of it. I wish I had notes like this when I was trying to develop characters before, but I didn't. So what you gonna do? Birth date, place of birth, residence, height, weight, measurements, clothing size, hair color and length, eye color, handedness. Are you left-handed? Are you right-handed? Jewelry. What kind of jewelry do you have? Tattoos. Their general appearance, family, relationships, relatives, cousins, friends, relationships with friends and relatives and cousins, enemies, their education, their work history, what are their skills, what are their phobias, what are their fears, essentially, what are their bad habits. Their good qualities, their bad qualities. All of these things need to be taken into consideration. Funny story about how this list came to existence. Well, I guess the story is not so funny. I think someone online developed something like this, put this together for something else, not specifically for character design or generally for character design. And one of my peers found it and they tweaked it a little bit so it can be used for virtually any kind of character. Other stuff you can take into consideration. What's their favorite stuff? What's their gender or sex? Favorite food, clothing, art, music, TV shows, movies, books. Favorite anything. What kind of goals do they have? What's their morality? what kind of morals do they have? What are their ethics? How do they talk? What's their style of speech? Like the commonly used slang and jargon. Like when you think about like slang and jargon, I'm thinking I'm reminded of like X-Men comics, X-Men books. Like even in comics they have this. Like a lot of the characters that have like a way of talking. Like Rogue from the X-Men, she'll always be saying stuff like y'all this, y'all that, or something. I don't know. I'm not really too clear on how Rogue talks, but she's got a very particular way of talking. A lot of the characters do. Wolverine, his character. If anyone has seen like any of the Dirty Harry films, he kind of resembles that. I like Dirty Harry. That guy was like just so good. He was so bad, he was good. He was so good, he was bad. He was like one of my childhood heroes or something. He was such a slick character. So yeah, it's really important that you like take all these things into consideration. The character's like world, the character's life, the character's history. All these things are reflected in the character. So yeah, taking in all these factors into consideration is like the first step for developing solid characters. The next step would probably be like finding like solid reference material that you can use for building up your character. Now, the character I'm like gonna be working with is kind of like a dark angel type character, so I'm gonna like look up reference material for character for a type of like stuff that you can like use that resembles your character in any which way, shape, or form. You can like look up images on the internet. You can look it up in books, Google, DeviantArt, with whatever else you're able to find out there. Internet is huge. So it's the second step for developing solid characters, the reference material. Now this third step would be building with the character. This is where you like start building the character. You gotta do like a lot of sketches. You gotta explore different like shapes and ideas, and explore different versions. Play around with the proportions. Like proportions is big too, because like you see like some of the most interesting characters have like their proportions are just like crazy. Let me see if I can come up with like some examples here. Like here are some like basic shapes. You've got like some squares, you've got some circles, you've got some rectangles, and all these like shapes can be like used for like just about anything. You can have them for like arms, you can have them for heads. All these shapes, I'm just going to use all these shapes here as an example to like describe like different heads. You just gotta like find some way to like put like facial features on them, no matter which would make sense. Now when you're like coming up with your like shapes, you gotta like keep in mind who is your character and what kind of shapes best resemble your character. And there's like an infinite variety. There's like a seemingly infinite variety of different shapes and combinations of shapes that you can toss together. If you're having trouble coming up with like shape ideas, what you can do is you can like look up books. There are like character design books. They're all over the place. You could probably even find some stuff online, and they'll always have like examples of different shapes, and you could like put together like a reference book type thing, or reference something, referencing different shapes and stuff, and play around with them, like use different combinations and stuff. Now I want to show you some Humberto Rambos. He's an artist. I've been like, I studied his work. I suppose like more recently,